Today on Cooking the Books with Heather, we're continuing to work out of the Poole's Diner cookbook, and we're going to make charred summer squash with fresh herbs. We love summer squash in our house, and I'm almost certain I've made this recipe before, but we're gonna make it again for you guys because we haven't made it for you guys before. So we're gonna start with our summer squash. Let's see. We really just need to trim the tops and the bottoms off and then cut it down the middle. I've got some zucchini here and also some yellow squash. So a mixture is nice for, you know, prettiness and slightly different flavor. So we're going to cut all of them just like that. Okay. And you'll see I already have 2 Vidalia onions that I've just cut both ends off and taken off the papery skin and then sliced them in half along the equator. So short way, long way, I don't know what you call that, but so it makes 2 halves like that. Now we're going to basically char these on a cast iron skillet. You could probably do it on the grill outside, you know, if it's summer and that's what you're into. But because the recipe says to do it on a cast iron skillet, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna char these on a cast iron skillet, and we don't have to worry about keeping these hot or anything because she suggests that you serve it at room temperature. So we're gonna char them and then we're gonna cut them up further and add some stuff to them. So first step is to get them charred. The first step here, we've got our cast iron skillet on medium-high heat. Mine got pretty hot while we were setting up, so I have it turned a little bit lower. But we're gonna put a little bit of neutral vegetable oil in here and rub it around with tongs and a paper towel, just so we get a thin layer. And before I put these in here, I'm going to season the cut sides with salt and pepper. And we're going to put them cut sides down, and we're going to go for a pretty dark char on these. Now we're supposed to leave these for about 5 minutes until they get a really dark char, and then we're going to turn them over and cook them for a little time on the other side. We want these to be kind of al dente in the middle, not totally cooked through, so they're not going to be super soft, but highly charred. So this has actually been probably more like 10 minutes, but I did have the heat turned down because of, you know, it getting pretty hot before, so probably need to leave it up as high as I had it in the beginning. I did turn it back up. Anyway, we're gonna turn these over, and I think we only let them go for a little while on the other side just to get it kind of cooked from that side a little bit. I did move things around in the pan because the ones in the middle were charring up a lot better than the ones on the sides, so. But this char is exactly what we're looking for, so don't be afraid of that. We're gonna let these go for just a couple minutes, and then we're gonna get our second batch in there. So I decided all those have been done now. They're just, some of them took a little longer, hot spots on the cast iron and everything, but all we have to do now is wait for this to cool a little bit before we cut it up and combine it with all of the other ingredients, and then we're done. come back in just a few minutes. All right, these have been cooling for a while we made the meat for our dinner tonight, and all I have to do now is cut these up into bite-sized pieces and put them in this bowl. So that's what I'll be doing. Okay, I've given these all just a rough chop, bite-sized pieces, and now we're gonna dress them with some lemon juice, olive oil, and we're gonna put some salt and pepper on there. Got my little sieve to catch the seeds from the lemon juice. I'm gonna put some salt and pepper in there because I'm sure it needs a little bit more. And then going to just drizzle some olive oil on there. There are no measurements. This is basically to taste, just to coat. So I'm gonna toss this all together. And now the herbs are just torn in. So I have some basil that I'm going to just sort of roughly tear up, and some mint. I have a few volunteer mints. I might have planted it a long time ago, but it keeps coming back. It's kind of invasive, so if you plant it, you might keep getting it back. And the basil we've planted recently. And I've got some Italian parsley here, also just torn up. This I had to buy. Parsley does not last long. Parsley and cilantro both go to bolt and go to seed very quickly here in North Carolina when the weather gets hot. So, and they don't come back the next year, in my experience anyway. That's it for the herbs. That's quite a lot of parsley, but everything just had to be torn, so you know. We're just folding these in, and that will be it for this recipe. I think this has plenty of oil and probably enough salt and pepper. Let me taste a bit. Maybe a touch more salt. This is Diamond Crystal Kosher Salt. She calls for sea salt, but this is what I always keep on hand and always use. So you get used to, when you're pinching salt like this, you get used to the saltiness of your salt and how to season foods appropriately just by feel. So I figure it's probably best for me just to use what I'm used to at this point. So, all right, that's it for this recipe. We'll be back in just a second to tell you what we thought of it and how it went. Thanks. This time on Cooking the Books with Heather, we made charred summer squash with fresh herbs, and we did it as prescribed in the book on a cast iron pan on the stove. As I said, you could do this on the grill, and I'm fairly certain we made it before and we did it on the grill that time. But you do need to have your grill really, really hot because you want it charred but not fully cooked through. So that's the hard part there. We really enjoyed it, but my family does like grilled or charred summer squashes in general. It's something we like, and we grill them all the time during the summer. The Vidalia onions were kind of hit and miss with the kids. My husband and I both liked it, and the kids did spend some time picking the herbs out. But I really enjoyed the herbs with the summer squash. And if you have herbs growing outside, which I do, and they're really easy, particularly the mint is very easy to grow, and it comes back every year, whether you want it to or not sometimes. And I hardly ever use it. So it's a good reminder that I can just throw it into dishes like this and make it a little bit tastier than what it would have been before. It took a while to char the squash, and some of them, because I had to play with the heat on the cast iron pan because of other filming issues, we were taking a while to set it up, and cast iron really heats up pretty quickly on my stove. I didn't have it hot enough in the beginning, so that's a thing that I would be wary of, making sure it really is hot enough, because it took 10 minutes for the first batch, but the next batch was done in about 5 minutes like it was supposed to be. Could have done it probably in one batch on our grill because it's got a larger surface area than my cast iron pan. But yeah, it was pretty easy. The techniques were not difficult. Just watching that heat and make sure you have it hot enough so you don't cook it through while you're trying to char it. And you don't even have to chop the herbs. You just tear them up with your fingers. So that was good. It was all really easy and pretty good, and everybody liked it. So I'd say that's a win. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe either down below or the little round thing that comes up here with my face on it. And hit the thumbs up button. And if you know of any cookbooks or any chefs or any recipes that you'd like me to check out and try and maybe feature on this channel, just let me know below in the comments. Thanks for watching Cooking the Books with Heather.